Welcome everyone. Today's video all about the shade loving begonia. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. Reason for the video today, we all have pockets of the garden that are almost in complete shade all day, and a lot of things do struggle with that, but not this one particular plant. The begonia is such a great addition to the garden. You can get hardy varieties. I've got a couple which I will show you today. Primarily I want to show you the non-stop variety, which is an annual plant that can actually be saved over winter, ready for next year. And this takes a trip to B&M. So as mentioned, these are an absolute shade loving plant. Now the great thing about these will give you a lovely splash of colour, because normally in the shade we don't get too many flowers, right? The great thing about these begonias, these are called non-stop variety, that you can actually dry the bulbs out. They actually die back to like a little corm, dry them out over winter, and then you simply plant them up again in the spring, and then they will come back for you. You can absolutely treat these as just an annual plant, so when the frosts are here you can just simply put them in the brown bin, compost bin, and they're completely finished. But if you've got the added extra of actually saving it, I might be inclined just to chuck them in a box with some tissue paper in, let them dry out over winter, and then you can start them off again the following year. These tend to come in hot colours, yellows, reds, oranges, but they're also known to come in white as well, and they're called non-stop because they don't stop flowering. Alternatively, you've got like the bedding style begonia, which again are complete shade lovers, but you can't save these over winter, so these are strictly a bedding plant. Having said that, they still flower the socks off all year, ideal for full shade. They can take part sun, part shade, but this really does well in full shade. And this wouldn't be a featured B&M video without telling you the price. Now these are £8.50 per hanging basket. I don't feel they're too bad of a price, considering you could potentially keep these for next year. So off the back of that, I actually have planted a couple of small begonias in a dappled shaded area that I have actually created off the summer house. So I'm in a south facing garden, so not an awful amount of shade. What's happened is, with putting the big summer house there, I've actually got a really lovely dappled shaded area mid-morning, and then of course in the afternoon it doesn't really escape it that much, all but the fence to the other side. So when that comes round, it will catch even more shade, if that makes sense. That's the only way that I've actually created a little bit of shade in the garden. Some of the trees are quite small at the moment, so not an awful lot of shade to be had, which I know it doesn't sound like a bad thing, and I'm not for 1 second saying that it is. However, sometimes in the garden it is nice to just have a little bit of shade. It's nice to have plants that do like a little bit of shade, if that kind of makes sense. And this particular plant, the begonia, is an absolute easy choice for what you need in your garden. So I planted this bed up back in early spring. Now I actually extended it where I got the palms, and then I've added a couple of shade loving plants with the ferns and also the begonias that we're going to talk about today. Two different varieties of begonias. Let's take a closer look. So first, hardy begonia. This is the beautiful blue. I got gifted this from playing with Tropical. Gaz lives quite local to me. I'm very lucky that I've got a really good sort of support network, to be honest. I get gifted quite a few plants, and I'm very grateful for it. Hopefully I will return the favour as my garden gets a bit big and we can start multiplying some of the plants that I have. So what I'll do is I'll put the names just down below, just here. I can't wait to see this actually get even bigger over the next couple of years, and it's going to cascade over the lovely decking, which I'm really excited about. And then the other one you can just about make out in shot just here. This has come from Shane Bilson's garden. He's got a beautiful garden here in Stoke-on-Trent, and again, very lucky that he gifted me this. Again, I'll pop the names just here for you guys, because the older I'm getting, the worse the worse I am at remembering new plant names for me. All the old stuff, the generic stuff that was in my brain from 20 years ago, not a problem. Anything new, oh my goodness, I can't remember that information. Something I'm working on. So they're the names for these beautiful plants. These are both hardy, so I haven't got any winter worries. What I am going to do is I'm going to give them a heavy mulch over winter, and hopefully that will give them enough warmth to encourage them to come back next year. Having said that about the shade, I hope you are enjoying the sun. We're now in August, and this year is absolutely flying by. Hope you're doing well. Hope your gardens are doing well. Please let me know where you're up to in your journey with your garden. How many years in? What's been your biggest struggle this year? Not the sun. You can't say the sun. What's been your biggest struggle this year? For me personally, I think motivation has been a little bit difficult for me through different reasons, but I've actually absolutely loved the sunshine. You know, I work indoors, so any opportunity I get to be outside, I'm outside. So I'm really not going to complain about the sunshine, but motivation with certain projects has been tough for me. Not in the rear garden. I've been loving life, but the front garden's been quite neglected. So something I'll need to improve upon next year, and I'm looking forward to the pond build towards the end of this year. Did get a question actually about why I'm actually going to dig the pond out in the winter, and it could be quite hard going, and I agree. I think that's a really good observation. So I'll answer that very quickly on the end of this video. The reason why I'm actually gonna start the pond build back end is because I want to put my garden to bed first before I start the project, because I'm a sucker for starting something, not finishing it. So for me, in my garden, I want to put my garden to bed sort of the end of, well, middle of November, towards the end of November, have everything wrapped up. So the bananas wrapped up, the canna lilies mulched over and some dug up and brought inside. I want my brugmansias in, and I want to be ready for the winter, ready for the frost. So even if I do have a frost, I haven't got to worry a single thing about that. Then I can solely concentrate on my pond build throughout the winter months, because it will soon be February. Plant stocks will soon be hitting the stores again, and I'll be straight back out giving all of those updates to you guys. So I hope I've answered that in this one. So if you did enjoy it, then please do give it a big thumbs up, as it really does help the channel out, and drop a comment down below, as it helps share it out to others who love gardening just like we do. Until tomorrow, I will see you in the garden. You take care.